going too fast. I'm taking three.
I'm going for the St. Louis now.
Oh no!
Son of a bitch.
You get your two?
Yeah. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thotgor here, of course. And today I've got a Mine Cause replay that we're looking at here. We are on Fault Line as well. And I'm grouped up with a clanmate here, Fuzz. And we were just, going out trying to get some credits, basically. Actually, I think Fuzz is at the tier 6 level, so he's, ranking up and stuff. Whereas I'm just looking for credits. That's really all I want to do and all I want to accomplish in this game here. And I do a pretty good job at it. But this battle was a heartbreaker. Anyway, so you can see I did start on the west side, so I'm going to move right into the A point. It's a typical move that I'll make when I'm in a destroyer on this map. Depending where I start will determine which cap point I go, and obviously as well the team, right? So at this point in time, you can see the team is more or less looks like they're focusing B and C. So then my strategy in A is merely to cap A and run away. Not looking to stay in A at all or defend it. I just don't have the backup at this point to do that. So that's all I want to do with A. Now if I started in the middle of the map, below the B point, then yeah, I would be going for B. And if I started on the eastern side, then yeah, I'd be going for C. Most likely. C is a bit of a toss-up, I find. It can go really well, or it can go really bad, depending on what enemy ships are also going to that C spot. Because things get really hectic in there really quickly. You're in a confined space and you only have basically 2 exit points. You can go down that little channel, or you can just keep steaming forward and hope that the enemy retreats, or you can break the enemy line. Either one of those options. So, I am in the A point right now. My AA guns are off, but I do see a number of planes coming around, and I assumed that these planes were coming for me. So I turn off my AA, and I start targeting the planes with my anti-aircraft guns. And again, to do that, just in case you don't know, just hit Control. A little mouse will come up on the screen, and then click on the air group that you want to target. I would recommend doing this always, because it will increase your AA efficiency on the target that you're firing at, and you'll shoot down more planes. You can do a similar thing with your secondary armament. Just click the ship that you want to focus those secondary armaments on, and they will do that. I do have a enemy destroyer. There he is. He popped a smoke, so he's over there. I'm not popping my smoke at this time because I have islands around me, land masses to break line of sight, even though there's planes overhead, I know. But to break line of sight and to prevent the enemy from actually being able to hit me. So that's what I'm doing here. I am firing off some of my guns. The guns on your Mine Cause, or Mini Cause, whatever, and your Mitsuki are more or less useless. They're really only there as like a last-ditch effort. You need to get that last 1,000 HP off the enemy in order to kill them, right? That's basically what they're there for. I do end up popping my smoke because there is this Kuma coming around, right? So I see him and I'm gonna launch torpedoes off at that guy. Want to try and get him gone. In terms of holding A, I've decided that, yeah, I'm going to stick around a little longer because I do have a little more support. I've got 1 friendly cruiser with me versus 1 destroyer and 1 enemy cruiser. So the odds are fairly even here. This Kuma grounded himself, yeah. You can see it there. I'm putting shots into him because he's grounded myself. There's my friendly cruiser. Bit of coffee, and we're all putting shots into that guy, but the way he's on the island is just so weird, and we can't seem to get any really good, meaningful hits on him. Well, at least I can't. My ally, I guess, sort of can. But the ally dies. Yeah, there he goes. He's gone. It's like, damn it. Now it's just me in the A point. So I do fire off all my torpedoes at the Kuma, I'm assuming that the Kuma is going to go forward to get himself unstuck from the rock. But things are picking up a little bit here. There is the Kuma, there's the enemy destroyer, and I think there's another cruiser in here now as well. So it's at this point that I decide, no, we are leaving. I'm not staying at A. I get some nice torpedo hits on one of the enemies out there, so that wasn't too bad at all. There go some more torpedoes. They were intended for the Kuma, but I do end up missing the Kuma. But, you know, whatever. I got the enemy in the back. I'm not sure. I think it's a cruiser. Oh, yeah, it's an Erie. Yes. So at the beginning of the battle, you might have noticed there was a bit of a failed platoon, and this gentleman decided to come into the battle with a tier 1 Erie. So, well, whatever, teach their own, I suppose. So I have more or less abandoned A, right? But I'm kind of working my way around behind it. The thinking here is that, you know, if they only have a Kuma, a destroyer, and an Erie on the A side, maybe I could do something, maybe, but those enemy planes are freaking me out. So I got another nice torpedo hit on someone out there, but I do have this New York right in front of me, right? So I want to try and do something about this guy. The enemy torpedo bombers did launch their torpedo planes at me, so I need to take that into account. So essentially just firing off my torpedoes and getting the hell out of there. I don't want to get torpedoed, especially by torpedo bombers. It's like the ultimate shame for a destroyer. Well, you know, I should say there are two ultimate shames for destroyers. You can tell me which one is more shameful. So the first one is getting torpedoed by a torpedo bomber when you're in a destroyer. That's shameful, isn't it? Next is when you're in a destroyer and you're attacking an aircraft carrier and the aircraft carrier's secondary armaments kill you. That is also shameful. I'm curious to know which one you guys think is more shameful. So let me know in the comments below. And in the meantime, you can see that all of my torpedoes that I shot off, I think it was in New York, is gone. I missed them all. I don't know how or why. That battleship just... he was super, I guess. Missed him. But I fired off more torpedoes at him. And I've got the Kuma here again. Is it a Kuma? No, that might be the Erie. I've got this enemy cruiser in front of me anyway. So I'm going to put shots into this guy, try and get some torpedoes into him as well, and get him gone. Yeah, it is the Erie. I don't know what this guy was doing. I don't know. Maybe it was just for shits and giggles, right? I know, I got some few giggles out of it. What I was surprised about, you're going to see it here real soon. See, he's on low health, and I figure, I want to torpedo him. I don't really want to finish him off with my gun, so I fire just one spread of torpedoes at him, right? Look at this. First torpedo misses, second torpedo hits, but does very little damage. What the hell was that? This is an Erie, for God's sakes. So whatever, I put my guns into him and I finish him off. There's the first kill. Looking at the team, though, all my allies are gone. Right? There's me, there's Fuzz, and then there are 3 other allied ships. That's all we have. There goes another enemy, so I'm up to 2 kills now, so it's not too bad. But this isn't looking good. So I am in the A cap point now, so I'm capping it. You know, why the hell not? I think it's just maybe an enemy. No, the enemy destroyer is gone, so there's no one over here anymore. They're all dead. It's basically an aircraft carrier with his air groups that are defending the A point now, and not a big concern for me. My allies in the meantime did manage to take C. That is very helpful. To be able to have C. If I can get A, then that's going to give us the cap advantage. Then we can start opening up the distance between the points that we have and the points the enemy has, which is what we're trying to do here, right? We want to get a victory. More torpedo bombers coming in on me. This guy just wouldn't give up, but he's not... Well, I don't know for sure, right? I didn't look the player up, and I'm not going to look the player up. I don't care about stats. I'm not one of those individuals who will look up the stats and say, oh yeah, that person sucks because he's at like 45% win rate. No, I don't do that. But with this carrier pilot, I assume because he's doing auto torpedo drop, so he's not manually aiming at me, and he's not coming in from both sides like a more skilled aircraft player would do. So I'm assuming that this aircraft carrier captain is still learning, right? For anyone who doesn't know, now I don't play carriers, so I don't know if the buttons have changed at all, but when I was playing carriers back in closed beta, it was the Alt key. If you held the Alt key, that gave you the option of manually dropping torpedoes, yeah, and dive bombers. So That's what what you would do in this situation. I think it would be the best call here, but that carrier captain's still learning, so whatever. In the meantime, we are now down to 4 ally ships. Yeah, we lost our aircraft carrier. He's gone. There's an enemy battleship out there, so I put torpedoes into him and hope that I'm able to get him, right? Because he's behind our lines at this point. Not that that's really even a big deal, because we don't have any aircraft carriers left. It's not like we have a base back there that we need to be concerned about. So, yeah, if he wants to float around back there, let him do it. I will go and cap the B point like I'm doing right now. Yeah. At this point in the battle, it is 4v4. And I'm thinking everything's on the up and up, right? We've got A, we've got C, I'm taking B. So that's going to give us all 3 points. The enemy ships aren't really in a position to be able to take the A cap point from us. So, we should be able to hold on to that cap point for the remainder of the battle, hopefully. That's what I was hoping. The majority of the enemy ships, there was that battleship to the south, right? But the remainder of them are over here on this east side. So, that's sort of where I'm boating towards, where I'm sort of focused on, but I don't want to just charge in there and die. No. I turn around and I start getting into these islands here. I'm going to try and use the islands as cover. We talk about it all the time on the channel. I'm sure other people do as well. Try to use the islands to your advantage, right? You don't want to end up out in the open with no cover at all and die. Especially on the maps, well, all of the maps excluding Ocean, where they give you islands to hide behind. Use them. On Ocean, that's a whole different ball game. We've looked at it before. We'll probably look at it again, but not today anyway. So remember the battleship that was over here, right? There he is. I'm coming back to finish him off, because I figure at this point in time we've got A, we've got B. Unfortunately, we are losing C. Yes. And I was pretty afraid of the Cleveland that was over there at C, and that's why I got into the islands and I made the decision to go and take out this battleship. I am spotted, but I'm not concerned about it. It's a battleship. I'm going to be able to dodge the shots more than likely. And with the changes to the mine kaze or mini kaze, right? You have 7-kilometer torpedoes. I love the 7-kilometer torpedoes. Frankly, I like the 10-kilometer torpedoes as well, and I didn't find a big difference between going from 10 to 7, so whatever, I liked it. So there's New York, there goes my torpedoes into the New York. Oh yes. 5 torpedo hits on that guy, and he's gone. That's my 3rd kill for the battle, and I got a devastating strike as well, so that did not too bad at all, right? And then, again, at this point in the battle, we're still matched for ships, 3v3. We still have 2 of the cap points. We've got the majority of the cap points as well. Wait, no, we have we have A and B, and we also have the lead in cap points, yes. Still a little early, maybe have another drink of coffee here. Smart myself up a bit, whatever. But we're still maintaining the lead, and I'm still thinking, yeah, this is cool, we've got this. I just lost an ally, now it's 2v3, so things are a little more concerning. They have an aircraft carrier, they've got a cruiser, and I think they have another battleship remaining. The aircraft carrier I'm not really concerned about. It would be nice if I could go over there and kill him, but at this point in the battle, I think it would be a stupid move to go and chase an aircraft carrier down. I really, really want to take out another enemy surface fighting vessel, right? Like the Cleveland we saw earlier. I want to try and get those people gone. I know they're at sea. I know that it's a confined location, so I'm going in there as fast as I possibly can. You can see my boost is on, and the idea behind that is that if I can catch them, maybe in the channel, or catch them in a wrong spot at the wrong time, I can get some torpedoes into them and get them gone. That is the plan, and is what I'm striving for. The enemies, though, have different ideas and different plans, obviously. So there goes my last ally. Now it is just me. So it's me versus the three of these people. I wish I could. I wish, like, at this point in time, I could cue the epic music, and maybe speed it up a bit, and just kill these last three guys, end the battle, victory for all, right? Yeah, it doesn't work, but it still is fairly awesome. The ending here, anyway. So you can see I'm coming into C. My whole plan, remember, of going into C was to catch the enemies in a bad position, bad location, get torpedoes into them, right? Yeah. That was the plan. Didn't work out. The enemies didn't actually stay in C. That Cleveland right there is now capping the B point. Or at least, yeah, there he goes now. Moving into it, capping it, right? Again, just me left. The Cleveland is on really low health. So if I could maybe get one torpedo into him, I can get him gone. Now that I'm doing this replay and I'm looking at it, and I've seen it a few times now as well, it's at this point that I was thinking, like, there's the other Cleveland, so he's really, really close, and it's at this point that I was thinking, maybe I should have went in and took the C point and just said, screw it, you can have B, but I didn't do it. My torpedoes are on the way for that Cleveland. I do end up getting them. That's my 4th kill, so that's awesome, right? So now it's an enemy Cleveland remaining, and an enemy aircraft carrier. They just capped the B point. So here is probably when I should circle around and go for C. Just leave the Cleveland alone. Let him do whatever it is he's going to do over here, and just leave him alone. That's what I should do. Because look at the points. We're in the 900s now. Could have won it. Could have won it. So I fired torpedoes off of the Cleveland. I think, I'm just too focused on getting that 5th kill. And this is a problem that I'm sure all of us face. We just get so caught up in the moment, so caught up in the battle, we just want more kills, right? More kills. Get them, just get them all, right? It doesn't work out. And it's at this point, I suppose, too, that situational awareness comes into play, and where we should be looking at the mini-map, addressing concerns, but I wasn't doing that. I dodged the shots from the enemy dive bombers. The Cleveland is making a run at me, so I've popped my smoke. I'm starting to do circles so I can stay inside the smoke, like we talked about yesterday. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just waiting for him to come to me, just letting him come to me. I've got my torpedoes reloaded. You can see I'm all ready for him. There's the lead, so torpedoes are out, and I'm firing them. Right, 2 of them were on the lead. 1 is an estimate. If he were to turn, that may be where he is. I only need to get him with the 1 torpedo hit. That's all I need to do in order to get him gone. And then it's just the enemy aircraft carrier, and I can hunt down enemy aircraft carriers. While all of this was going on, the enemy aircraft carrier did go into A. Yeah, it went into A and capped A. This is what I'm talking about, and how I should have went and took the C point. Then at least my team would be gaining points right now, but we're not. No. The Cleveland that I shot my torpedoes at, he avoided them all. Yeah. Couldn't get him. I launch off 1 spread of speculative shots. There's a Cleveland again. He's coming in, so I just need to get 1 hit with him. Should have did the narrow spread on those, because when you're really close to an enemy target like that, you want to do narrow spreads. You could do, well, no, I shouldn't say that. I should have done a narrow spread just because it's going to be harder for him to avoid them. I'm not going to say that always use narrow spreads at short ranges, blah, blah, blah. No. You guys are, you're all intelligent. We're all intelligent, to a degree. But if you think that a narrow spread or a wide spread is going to help you, then do it. Whatever you think is going to help you win or get that kill, do it. I generally use narrow spreads because, that's what I'm used to, that's what I like, but I have had some great success using wide spreads on my American destroyers because the American destroyers have 4 torpedo tubes per launcher. So with that 4 torpedo spread, it does end up working out pretty well. There's a Cleveland again. This time he has grounded himself. Yes. Here comes some enemy torpedoes. I'm really trying to avoid them. Look at the timer though. Yeah. Look at the points. Yeah. really, really close. I really, really wanted to win. If I could have just gotten the Cleveland, right, then they would have lost those points, would have put us in the lead. We'd be golden, but it just doesn't work out that way. Looking at the overall results, we did lose. The reason why we lost was because the timer ran out and we had the least amount of points. If you're sitting there thinking that should have been a draw, no. Changes were made to the game, and this is the results that we have. Second overall, I didn't actually get 1,000 experience. I was quite surprised with it because just, the amount of damage that I did in that game, but whatever. Anyway, that's our video today. Few things to keep in mind, right? Try and get the cap points. Don't focus too much on those enemy kills. But if you have any comments, be sure to write them down there. Hit the old like button. If you're not subscribed, hit subscribe as well. And as always, I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.